What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip, and welcome back to another video. So now let's talk about Gavan Infinity episode 3. And the basic highlight of this episode is the introduction of Gavan Luminous, aka Kiki Iwai. And of course, alongside her partner, Kotobuki Takanari. And well, uh, probably should say, just in case that in case you haven't seen Gavin Infinity yet, I highly recommend that you start right now. And well, I probably don't have anything to say really spoiler-ish about this video, but nonetheless, it's still safe thing to say, I guess, that you should, of course, catch up with Gavin Infinity, or again, if you haven't started yet, go ahead and start watching now because again, uh, hopefully at this point, episode 3 is also out because maybe by the time you're watching this, but as I am recording this video, I'm actually recording right after the episode broadcast because again, it's a fun episode to talk about. But again, after you're caught up, you can come back to this video. Otherwise, enjoy. So let's get started. So again, we start our episode with Deiji receiving a report about another Emol Gear reaction in another dimension. So now we're entering the dimension of Gavan Luminous. So on their side, so we start with an investigation with a man apparently dissolving into foam. And of course, Kiki and Koto investigate. And we know that they're the fun loving bunch because, like, their office, I guess, is decorated with a lot of like cute things. Again, uh, like how young and girly they are, like, it is kind of reflected in their personality. So yeah, that's what happens. So Reiji just barges in, like, what while the two are talking, what during their investigation. So uh, Reiji, of course, introduces himself as another officer from, the space police or the galactic police, and of course, we know that Kiki is introduced as an individual who can actually communicate with a mold gear. So she has this ability, and uh, yeah, apparently, like later on, we also learned that she is somewhat of an not really an empath, but she definitely has something like supernat, not necessarily supernatural, but she does have the ability to sense emotions even from inanimate objects as long as they come from someone sentient, but I'll get to that later. So again, the highlight of this episode, of course, so we meet Kiki and Koto, and later on, of course, we see her transform into Gavan Luminous. And maybe on a side note, so while yes, episode 2 is more focused on Setsuna, we do also see him a little bit here. So he was trying to get answers from Karasuma, aka the criminal that he apprehended last week, but he won't budge. That's a tough guy to crack. And we also see Dewey Amo with him for the first time, and she actually wanted to talk to Reiji and learn more about the Red Gavin, but uh, you know, she basically says like, "Why didn't you let me talk to him?" Like, I apologize, ma'am. That's a very typical response from Setsuna. But yeah, we do see them. But that's that. So now we focus back on Kiki, Koto, and of course, what's going on in their end of the universe, I guess. So again, we meet both of them. So they're investigating an emote gear incident where, again, the victims have apparently melted into foam, and this leads them. So Kiki, Koto, and now with Reiji, so they are led to some alien who, like, he is a criminal in himself. like he has done like illegal things, but he is not the Emulgear user in this time. He's actually the target of the Emulgear user. So we see that Agi has also done an investigation on him and like found out that he is also doing illegal stuff. So uh, what Reiji says is like, we're gonna help you out, but we can also expose what you've been doing. So things like that. I do like Reiji as a character very, very much. And just a little side note, I would say that while he definitely isn't, the original Gavan, or he never acts like Retsu, uh, he is I think in my opinion like very much closer to Geki, aka Gavin Type G, in the sense that he is a bit more lighthearted, and again he's also able to crack some jokes, here and there. So and again he also does have that rather hot-blooded personality in him. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but definitely uh Deiji is more like Geki than Retsu, in terms of like comparing to the original Gavin. But anyways, side note over. So going back to the episode. So while they are trying to interrogate that target of today's Emulgear user or Emulgear criminal, so uh, so apparently, like his whole mansion just collapses into foam as they are found out by the actual Emulgear user. So we see this Emulgear user, like he summoned apparently like a dragon-like creature. He calls it Tama. So it's like his pet apparently. So what happened was, so like the guy that they were supposed to protect, like even though he's technically a criminal, so he was the target of this Emulgear user. So it turns out like he and his partner, so this was the person who was found already melted into foam. So they apparently killed this guy's pet long ago, when they were in a different planet. So he came for revenge, and with the help of the Emulgear, so he converted his negative energies and probably recreated his pet thanks to the power of Emulgear. But he was also able to summon like his Emon's monster later on, or rather, it just came out, when the negative energy went out of control. So yeah, that's what happens. Now, again, I love this episode because we do see some solid action, especially from the girls. Like Kiki and Koto really can handle themselves, and I like in some instances, for example, like Kotobuki. So Nana Tanida, so the actress, like she can be visibly seen doing her stunts. So again, if you really want like a really great action, like action centric tokusatsu, and like you can actually see the main actors do stunts themselves, this is a great show for you. So again, I'm really loving the stunts and the fight choreography in this show. Again, even the actual actors are doing their own fight scenes. I'm really, really loving this. So yeah, again, so this giant dragon attacks, and for the first time, so we see Cosmo Gavarian use like one of its attachments, and this time, so Reiji and Daisuke, so they take Cosmo Gavarian, of course, and they do have like the saber attachment, or the saber machine. So we do see Gavarian in its saber mode. So yeah, we are gonna see more of those attachments as we go on. But of course, yeah, considering it is called saber, so it is like the sword type attachment. So yeah, uh, like it is a really good fight scene. Again, we do see like the robot, but the dragon itself, like or the giant monster, is CGI. But nonetheless, it's a good, it's a well choreographed fight scene as well. So no problem with that. But the thing, after what happened, so we don't really actually see Kiki transform into Gavan Luminous until later in this episode. So one thing that you would notice is that Kiki's Gavalion trigger. So like at the end of like the handle, like for reference, like this one, like she has like a cute keychain attached to it, or some like a small plush thing strapped onto the end of her Gavalion trigger's handle. So again, she transforms into Gavin Luminous using the Happy Emo gear. I forgot the Japanese name again, but yeah. We also see another explanation, like theme going on here. So again, with the explanation, she transforms into Gavin Luminous, and we also see, so again, like how different Gavin Luminous is from Gavin Infinity. So, for example, in episode 2, when we see Gavin Bushido, so he is unique in the sense that he can use two Gavarian sabers, or Gavarian blades rather, compared to like one like Beiji uses. Now we also see in magazine scans that Gavin Luminous also has a Gavarian blade of her own, but she doesn't use it this time at least. But she is able to equip other weapons. So we actually see the Gavarian laser for the first time in the Gavarian drill. So she uses both of these. So we see the Gavarian laser in her right hand, and the Gavarian drill is actually attached to her left leg for some reason. And she doesn't use that to attack, or I guess rather she uses the Gavarian drill to anchor herself to the ground, and the Gavarian laser is the one doing all that heavy lifting, or for the attacks. So Deiji defeats the giant monster, and then like the Maku space energy is activated. Now the portal does open up, but they don't get inside. So this is where Kiki steps in, again using the Gavarian laser and the Gavarian drill. So again, the Gavarian drill, she uses it to anchor herself to the ground, and the Gavarian laser is the one used to destroy the Emons. And again, using the Gavarian trigger, so the emotional burst, so she is the one to she uses it to dissipate that Maku space portal. And this is where another interesting aspect of Kiki is shown. So like I've mentioned, so the giant monster that Beiji fought and defeated using the Cosmo Gavarian Robo, and in its saber mode. So there was like one of the fangs left behind, and that fang was like a remnant of the pet that the criminal used to have. So this Tama thingy. And like I've mentioned earlier, so this is where Kiki's ability to sense emotions even from items steps in. Again, as long as it came from a sentient being, even though the pet has been long dead, so it's like emotions, its soul, you can say, still remains, and like telling its former master like not to get too, not to be too absorbed in revenge, basically, is what the pet was trying to say. And yeah, we do see again like Kiki's, you could say like it's some sort of like empathy ability, but it's unique to her as well. So again, cases solved, Deiji goes back to where he came from, and the episode ends. Now another interesting aspect in this episode, again, like I've mentioned before, I guess, way back in the beginning, so like each Gavin has their own universe, and like each universe has unique aspects to it. So one of the more interesting aspects in like Loomis's universe is that their salute is unique. Now, for example, if I were Reiji, I were to salute like this normally. However, in Kiki's world, they salute like this. Really? That's how they salute in their world. Now, another aspect that I guess makes Kiki like an adorable character, so is her boundless curiosity. For example, when Reiji summons Agi to, like from his ship into you know like Kiki's dimension. Of course, like Kiki shows like how curious she is about seeing basically an AI, you know, turn in not necessarily human, but somewhat like definitely in a physical form, like a tactile. Like you can touch her, she feels human, she's warm. Yeah, she shows emotions like a human. Again, anything that piques Kiki's interest, so like she focuses on it. Like again, I have mentioned before in the character introductions video, I guess, like cast reveal. So that's something about Kiki that is unique to her. So yeah, again, it's a really really good episode, and like I noticed again today, so we still don't have the introduction credits. Like it's just Gavan Infinity. So like just the title card. And then we start off with the episode. Like I'm wondering if they're also going to put like a Kamen Rider Zets on this one. So if you remember, Kamen Rider Zets did not actually include or did not have the opening credits sequence until like episode 6. So I'm wondering if that is also going to be the case with Gavan Infinity, or they would actually not have like an actual opening credits and like everything would just be shown in the end. Like I don't mind the uh the show if it's not gonna have like an opening credits sequence. So it's just a unique thing, and probably people are not used to this type of thing just yet. But again, personally, it's not a bad thing if they don't have an actual opening sequence. I don't mind, but I don't know what do you guys think. Now, for Gavin Infinity episode 3, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. So it is again another solid episode. Like I like everything in it, but still it's not yet to the point where like we learn a lot of like big reveals or plot twists. I would say this is more of a like generic episode, but like everything is presented so well that you would still enjoy it very much. So again, like there's nothing wrong with a generic episode as long as it's done really really well. I mean, we're still in the early stages of the show, and again, we're basically being introduced to everything, like the fact that again Reiji has to go to different dimensions, and we also learn about the unique things about every dimension that he visits. And again, it is still interesting to see that even though Setsuna is technically not with them, but we do still see scenes of him. So we are establishing still that like these three, Deiji, Setsuna, and Kiki are very, very important characters to the overall plot of Gavan Infinity. And who knows, well, not really who knows, but definitely we're gonna see more of them in the future. I mean, they are the major characters introduced. So, I can't wait to see what happens next in Gavan Infinity. So, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. So as always, thanks for watching, and as I would always say, please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, bye! Yeah, I'm doing this salute.